With 1 week to go until Liv and Dominik take on Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, today we're asking the question, who should be victorious? Let's talk about it. So yes, arguably one of the most intriguing matches on the card, and also one of the most unpredictable, as there's a lot of ways this bout could go. Because, let's just say Liv Morgan and Dom pick up the win. That would make a lot of sense, as this is their first official match as a couple, so you'd want to start them off strong. And since Damian Priest is a former world champion, and Rhea is also a former world champion, that would make their victory feel even more emphatic. Not to mention, it would make the hatred that the fans feel for the new couple grow even stronger, as the WWE Universe has really grown fondly of Rhea and the newly turned babyface Damian Priest. Plus, since Liv Morgan did defeat Ripley at SummerSlam, it would only make sense to get another victory over her, as it will only intensify their rivalry. And when the Eradicator does eventually defeat Morgan, because of the build-up from SummerSlam and Bash in Berlin, it's going to feel like a bittersweet moment when it finally happens. And if you really want, you could always have Dominik pin Damian. That way, it can protect Rhea, and Liv can still say she defeated her even though she didn't pin her directly, which again will play into Liv Morgan's heel character even more. And Dominik pinning a former world champion is definitely going to make the boos even louder, if that's possible. And if you really want, you could have Finn Balor interfere and cost Damian the match once again, which is only going to anger the former champion when they inevitably face off. Okay, so now let's say the Terror Twins pick up the victory. That would make a lot of sense also, as they both lost at the biggest party of the summer, so you'd want them to get a feel-good moment. And I think picking up a win definitely does that, especially over the pairing of Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio. And since Priest is a former world champion, like I mentioned earlier, and his last defeat was to Gunther, who's the longest IC champion of all time, you definitely want to make him look strong in case they do a rematch between the two. And since Finn was the one who cost him the title, Damian picking up a victory here would make sense if Finn Balor is his next opponent. So overall, it is a tough decision, because Damian Priest could pin Dominik, and I think fans would be okay with that, because that's what a lot of people want to see. They want to see the newly formed couple get their comeuppance. So I could definitely see that happening, but also, this is their debut match, and Liv is the world champion. So you don't want the Terror Twins to come out victorious also. But I think the best decision would be Damian and Rhea dismantling Ray's son, and either Rhea or Damian pins Dominik and picks up the victory. That way, it protects Liv Morgan, and it can set up a future match down the line between the Eradicator and the current Women's World Champion. But either way, I do think it will be a great match, as Liv and Rhea always deliver in bouts, as do Damian and Dom, especially with them brawling backstage on Raw a few weeks ago. And hopefully we get Rhea hitting a riptide on Dom. That would be the icing on the cake. But what do you think? Should the Terror Twins be victorious, or should the newly formed couple pick up the win? Let me know in the comments below. Leave a like, subscribe, and more importantly, take care.